Today is September 22nd. It is my 63rd birthday, and I am working on the White Mustang, the Steed, as I call it. So the Steed has an air pocket in the radiator fluid. So I flushed it. It's got a motor with 5,000 miles on it, so it wasn't dirty. It just had an air pocket, and I wanted to make sure that anything from the rebuild came out. And anyway, I'm going to refill it. I got this little guy to clean up. I got to shut a valve down below, but got to talk to you guys about Israel. About Israel and their ability to wage war anywhere, anytime, with anyone, quietly, covertly, using their phone against them, using their radio against them. It's pretty simple stuff, really. Every phone's got a tracking, a unique identifying number. They all have one. And once you enter that into the computer bank, the great Wi-Fi wrapping the world can find any phone, anywhere, anytime, and make it do all sorts of things that your average user doesn't understand. And, there's these end user license agreement, the EULA, EU whatever. Most people go, I want this app. Oh, you got to sign that user agreement. Oh, well, yeah, sure, whatever. Do you have any idea what's in those agreements? I haven't the slightest idea what I agreed to when I took that phone on. For all I know, they're who knows what they're up in. So my phone can be found anytime, anywhere by the right people and activated in ways that I don't understand. It's espionage. It's just simply espionage. Which is actually from a German word, not espion, Spion, S-P-I-O-N, but they don't say Spion, they say Spion, and then you get eSpionAge from that. So it's covert espionage, 007, Cars 2 type stuff, and the spions, the spies, they get inside of everything. And once they're in there, and you don't know they're in there, that's when they start doing their dirty work. In Lebanon, they didn't know that spies had gotten a hold of their equipment and laced it with explosive. And they didn't know that Israel had the technological capability to ignite that by superheating the phone via a program that would run and consume so much battery that the phone would overheat, causing the explosive material to explode. So it's possible. The craziness is that, everybody's a target at this point. Nobody's giving up their phones. Most people are going to be like, yeah, but it won't happen to me. It won't happen to me. It won't happen to me. That's for other people. Well, you just don't know that. Every military in the world now is aware that communication devices can explode if you don't follow them from the very beginning of manufacture all the way through. If you don't put a dog sniffer on there and make sure that there's nothing in there, it's hazardous. Now, what do? Throw away your phone? Well, if it started acting hinky, you better. Some of those people in Lebanon did toss that phone, and where it landed, that's where it went off. And, God have mercy on the people that were actually innocent who happened to be in the way. Collateral damage in war always happens. And speaking of war, there's a war coming that's greater than any other war that has ever been or ever will be. And that war is the war that Christ talks about. And he says, pray that you may escape all these things that are about to happen on the face of the earth, and that you may be accounted worthy to stand before the Son of Man. Well, number one, there's an escape. Christ would never ask us to pray for something that doesn't exist. And that escape puts us in front of the Son of Man. Well, where is the Son of Man? He's in heaven. So it's an escape that takes us up, places us in front of the Son of Man, where we hope to have been found worthy to stand. Okay. How do you become worthy of something? I'm worthy to drive these vehicles because I went and took the test and proved that I could do it, proved that I was worthy, that I deserved this benefit. The rapture is not salvation. You're saved. Your soul is saved. Your soul is going to be just fine. Whether or not your body gets transferred into a new body because you happen to be living at this time when we are alive and remain, whether or not that happens and you get transferred into a new celestial body that can move through time and space and is then raptured to God with the dead in Christ who get new bodies, that's dependent on one thing, whether or not you're worthy of receiving that. Everybody's soul is saved, but whether or not your body goes up in the rapture, that's another story. And that's for the wise virgins, because the rapture takes us to the wedding. God sends his son for his son's bride. Okay, why does he go get the bride? Because there's a wedding. Where do the wise virgins go for having the oil? They go into the wedding. Where do the foolish virgins go? They don't go into the wedding. So, the rapture takes us to the wedding. It's a reward for the wise virgins who have studied it out and understand how to access the wedding, what to do on that day in Zion, how to be part of the one people in one language by learning the one language and then using the one language on that day in Zion at a very specific time such that we are all one people in one language, fulfilling Genesis 11:6. That if this people becomes one people in one language, nothing is beyond what they imagined to do. Now, Babylon imagined evil, so he scrambled their languages. They could not meet the requirements. But we want his Feast of Tabernacles fulfilled on the seventh day at sunset. So on the seventh day at sunset, we will praise in one language as one people, his name, that pure language, and he will fulfill his Feast of Tabernacles. Will it be this year? Boy, I hope so. I don't see it being next year because I think Israel's going to be surrounded by armies very soon, especially after this last Lebanon thing. So, the correlation of this tabernacles being so close to when Jerusalem gets surrounded by armies and Christ's words of when you see, not if you see, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, look up, your redemption draws nigh. So, at sunset in Jerusalem, which is 5:58 p.m. on the 23rd of October, 2024. At that time, we need to be praising his name. Now, I don't care what your clock says where you are, even if it's the middle of the morning where two are in bed and one will be taken and one won't. Wake yourself up in enough time to be praising his name over that span of time in which the sun will set in Jerusalem. And then you will be part of the one people in one language. If it happens this year and you're not doing that, you won't be part of the one people in one language. If it doesn't happen, we'll all get an opportunity to try this again next year. But let me tell you, next year, I don't know if Israel's going to be surrounded in armies. I don't know if all the pieces are going to come together. But it sure seems like the pieces are coming together. God bless and take care. There is a lot more going on than you realize. God bless. Take care. Bye.